is one of the questions from the audience is, why do we still need a separate African American division of the Alabama Democratic Party? Are we not one party? And you know, a question I had written down is that there's now some consideration going on about the consent decree and how executive committee seats have been appointed. That consent decree was put in place 30 years ago. What can be done, if anything, to reconcile that rift in the Democratic Party, and should that or could that be brought to an acceptable conclusion for everyone?
Well, you know, I think when I look at the state executive committee, the issues with Dr. Reed have nothing to do with race. They don't. People like to say that, but that is not the case. And I'm only speaking for Representative Todd, but my experience has been that we have one person who has too much control over the party. If we truly believe in democracy, and you know, then we need to live it. And that means that we want to get a diverse amount of people on that committee. Black, white, gay, straight, urban, rural, male, female, for us to be able to represent all the people that we have in our party. So I do agree with Chris that we do have to address the issue of racism. Alabama, in a lot of ways, is still functioning in 1960 mentality. And we have never been able to really have a discussion about race relations without it. You know, white folks feel funny because we're like, oh, I don't want to see me as, you know, racist or whatever. And but we don't do enough to really put that on the table and really talk about it and come up with dialogue that we can all agree on, because the people in this room care about all people, black, white, you know, it doesn't matter. That's why we're Democrats.
How does that happen, though? I mean, how do you have that discussion? I mean, I hear a lot of people saying that there needs to be a dialogue, but no one is ever sending out invitations for something like that.
That's a good point. I mean, I think it's got to be a coalition of people, black and white, who want to have a serious discussion about what's going on in our state. I mean, I am so sick of people blaming President Obama for this loss. It's not President Obama's fault. You know, I am, and when people ask me, I am an Obama Democrat. I am proud. So let's face it, we're a minority. You know, a minority in that regard. So, anyway.
I guess we need to look in the mirror.
I see a white person when I look in the mirror. How do I get in front of a black person and talk about these issues?
Well, I mean, and that's it. And sometimes, you know, we have these things that are subconscious that we don't think about it. When I was at Red Cross, they trained me to become a diversity trainer, and you start getting into issues, and everybody says, "Oh, I don't stereotype people. I'm not a racist." Okay, you know, you put the typical of them, black, white. You know, what do you think about? First thing you put right up there, you start putting other, you know, gay, lesbian, other things, and a Nazi. You know, you put all these things up there. All of a sudden, you can see the facial changes, the veins begin to pop up, the discoloration in the faces. Understand, it's the same way in our party, and we all come from different backgrounds. But we need to decide who we are. Because you see, the face that we have among each other, you know, we got to understand, those things come out. It's not necessarily what we say, it's mannerisms and other things, and people do pick up on it. Oh, you claim you're XYZ, we see. So we're going to have to be honest with each other within this party. We're going to, I mean, if we want to revamp, I still say, this is a good thing. We have time to rebuild, or we have an opportunity to rebuild. As I said, we can be better.